Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Bearable Bull here. And I got this aggressively average content for you today, as you all need to stay steady, lads. It's always darkest before dawn. This recent pullback may be met with one more smaller one, just to scare retail a little bit before they send us off to the stratosphere. I've seen it time and time again in crypto. And 2024 is destined to be the year we make generational wealth from crypto, and especially from XRP. As Brian Feroldi states, volatility transfers wealth from those who can't handle it to those who can. We are currently in a time of transition, in an election year. Wars are going on. The economy is unstable. Volatility will be your friend. And I think digital assets stand to benefit the most from this change, as Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse has confirmed his prediction that the crypto space can get to $5 trillion. This is important because all of you need to understand, I think XRP could receive $1 trillion in market cap as a very realistic high in the 2024 to 2025 bull run. I don't think too many people think that's far-fetched. I think that would maintain balance and would give an XRP a very beautiful price. And I think with everything that's been being built under the hood, Ripple's Brad Garlinghouse in today's interview with Fox truly broke it down perfectly to where you need to have no fear regardless of anything that happens. You just need to hold your XRP into infinity and beyond.
Joining me right now exclusively is the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse. Brad, it's great to see you.
Great to see you again.
Thank you so much for being here. First, assess where we are in this market, because crypto is up huge in just the last couple of weeks, right?
Well, it's been up. It came down a little bit this past weekend. But I think if you step back here over the last 6 months, Bitcoin's up about 250%. I think you're going to continue to see tailwinds, partly because of the ETFs that have been approved, which you and I spoke about in Davos, but also the upcoming halving, which is imminent.
Yeah, it's a great point. The ETF introduction really broadened out the market in terms of potential users, I think, and people wanted to get in on it, so they bought an ETF to do so. But you recently predicted that the crypto market will double in size to $5 trillion by the end of 2024. That is a big prediction just by the end of this year.
Yeah, I don't even feel like it's that big a prediction when you step back. And, you know, like any market, this is driven by supply and demand. You have decreasing supply for a whole bunch of reasons, the halving Bitcoin being an important one. You have an increasing demand, the ETF being a key part of that. And I think it's also people realizing that crypto plays a role as an asset. You know, it's a $2.5 trillion market. Maybe it's a little less than that now. But so it's basically just predicting it's going to double by the end of the year. And if anything, I think I probably under-predicted that.
I feel like Washington is still trying to understand this market, and the people writing the legislation or potential legislation here to put barriers and around this market. I don't know that they really understand the strength and the growth story here. But you think putting regulation around this, putting barriers in place is going to be a positive for this market? There
is no question. I mean, one of the headwinds that has held back the market, the largest economy in the world, the United States, has been one of the most problematic for the crypto market. Innovation, entrepreneurs, and capital have flown into markets that have actually constructively engaged this market. So Dubai, Singapore, even the UK, the EU has passed legislative progress here. The U.S. has really been behind the 8 ball. This administration, I think, has taken a pretty anti-crypto stance, led by the SEC. Gary Gensler, as the chair, has really taken...
Because he doesn't understand it.
I think there's
well, maybe he does, and the people working for him don't.
It's not clear to me. I mean, clearly, I think you have politicians, and I would frankly call out Elizabeth Warren goes out and says the only people using crypto are, you know, bad actors. It's just not true. And the U.S. should have a pro-innovation, pro-compliance policy. This is good for, you know, in terms of growing jobs, high-paying jobs, growing the economy. And I think you're seeing, you know, people go out and just, you know, talking points around anti-crypto that it doesn't even make sense. This shouldn't even be a partisan issue. This is about growing our economy.
Yeah.
This is about leading the next wave of innovation. I was around Silicon Valley when the internet was booming, massive amount of value creation, massive amount of job creation. The blockchain and crypto space is here to stay, and I think that's become clearer and clearer. But the U.S. government needs to embrace that and put those clear rules around it so that all participants can play and grow.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned all of those countries, because that's also an opportunity for you, obviously, at Ripple. I want to get your take on that, because you recently announced Ripple is launching a U.S. dollar-backed stablecoin later this year. You say this bridges the gap between traditional finance and cryptocurrency. Tell us how that will play out, why it's valuable, and give us the growth story for Ripple. Where does growth come from at your company in the coming 3 years?
So to start on that last piece, Ripple, about over 95% of our customers are non-U.S. financial institutions. We sell payment solutions, we sell custody solutions around blockchain and crypto. We're going to keep expanding, even though the U.S. market, as we were talking about earlier, partly from a regulatory point of view, has been slow to adopt. The non-U.S. market has been really, really strong for us. And you're
going to be the infrastructure around all of that.
That is our goal. And we think that opportunity is huge. We think that's going to be great for Ripple. We think it's going to be great for XRP, which is a digital asset we use. So I'm very, very optimistic about that. I just think that the U.S. needs to figure it out.
And the stablecoin?
Oh, the stablecoin. So like Ripple has always been about how do we bridge this new world with a traditional kind of, people call it TradFi, traditional finance. And Ripple has always been that bridge. We started around payments and we sell into banks. A stablecoin, the demand for stablecoins has exceeded, I think, what people thought. It's a $150 billion asset class right now. Some forecast it to be over 2-3 trillion in a few years. The players in that space, particularly one called Tether, is a non-U.S. based entity. And the U.S., frankly, is kind of going after that because they want this to be regulated. Just yesterday, there's a new bill introduced in the Senate to create some stablecoin legislation, which I think is a positive step of like, hey, finally, we might get some forward momentum there. But I think that market's going to grow a lot. I think a U.S.-based player who is compliance first has a great role to play.
It's a great story to tell. Brad, thank you so much for being here.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people said that my title of my video yesterday was clickbait. I literally stated exactly what came out of Brad Garlinghouse's mouth one day later. But people will never give you credit for correct predictions. They only want to highlight incorrect timing. Well, how about that correct timing? Ladies and gentlemen, Tether is on the way out. Ripple launching a Ripple-backed stablecoin, a US dollar-backed stablecoin. That is what UST and Terra Luna did, except theirs was algorithmic and ultimately a Ponzi scheme and faulty technology. This is backed by the weight of central banks, the Fed, a regulated US dollar stablecoin, numerous institutions. And this is the transition I want to see Ripple take to get the rest of the world on board. If America with Ripple and a US dollar stablecoin gain mass adoption, oh my God, the floodgates will open. All the countries that are partnered with Ripple will go live. Do you get it? Are you seeing the fucking picture? If you aren't, watch my 100 reasons why XRP will hit new all-time highs in 2024 video, as that literally explains to you in 3 hours why we're going to the fucking moon. But as I break it down step by step throughout this journey for every single one of you, I want to touch on a point that's important. UST and Terra Luna together took Terra Luna to $128. I remember when Kevin Cage was talking about Terra Luna at 20 cents. People could have ridden that wave to the moon. I expect Terra Luna-like growth from XRP at some point. Truly. Except it'll be stable and won't be a Ponzi scheme that ends up going into oblivion. Ripple is working with regulators to make things fully legal. And once things are fully legal, especially after they dominated the SEC in court, oh, we're going to see things from an overhead view. Ripple and XRP will be on top. And I want you all to listen to Chris Larson explain why we don't have to fear stablecoins or other real-world assets on the XRP ledger. With AMMs going live, the tech is now capable of so much more. And the huge upside is that market makers will no longer be needed. This will take more transactions on chain. And the perfect storm for Ripple and XRP has begun.
You know, Ripple doesn't require you to ever use XRP, even in a trade. I mean, the cool thing here is that anybody in the world now using Ripple can put a bid ask on anything of value from any issuer. So for example, somebody can decide, you know, I'm going to make a market between United Airline miles, if, you know, once United Airline miles are on Ripple, I hope they will be someday, to Brazilian real. You could go directly. You don't actually have to go through XRP. But what we believe will happen is that most market makers, in filling out the world of exchanging value from anything of value, again, currencies, merchant reward points, airline miles, gold, silver, anything that you define as value, most people will actually, most market makers will use XRP. Because as a currency without a counterparty, it is a completely unique thing in the protocol, just like Bitcoin is completely unique. So again, our view of why math-based currencies are so valuable isn't necessarily that they replace existing currencies, it's just that they have a very unique feature in that they have no counterparty. So the whole world, the world only has to think about one thing when it comes to Bitcoin or Ripple, is the price in any microsecond in time. You never have to think about the counterparty risks. It turns out that that is a completely unique thing that's never existed before. So why is that important? Let's say we use the example of a farmer in Nepal wanting to buy farming equipment from a supplier in Kenya, let's say. If you didn't have the math-based currency, even in an internet for value, you'd probably have to go Nepalese rupee to Indian rupee to British pounds to Kenyan shilling. That's a lot of hops.
Right, and you're going to lose a good amount of money on each hop.
You lose value on every hop, right? Because you're involving currencies with counterparties, things of value with counterparty. It'd be much better to go Nepalese rupee to XRP through a market maker, and then there's some other market maker that has made a market between Kenyan shilling and XRP. Now, Nepal and Kenya are one hop away. You're actually one hop away from airline miles, and everything is one hop away. That's why a math-based currency, we think, is really unique and really has value.
And ladies and gentlemen, Ripple has been on full display in the mainstream recently with some powerful quotes. First, you heard Brad Garlinghouse say Ripple wants to be an all-stop shop crypto solution for institutions and central banks. And here, Monica Long, Ripple's president, is showing the macro perspective of this cycle at Web Summit Rio. She states this is real institutional adoption, and some of the biggest brands in financial services like Goldman and BlackRock and Fidelity, they actually built their products and offerings in bear markets. And I need you all to understand right now that we are right here. This is the bull market that will make multimillionaires and some of you potentially billionaires. And this is also me being conservative, because it's also possible that we're just down here. It's also possible we're super early in this bull run. Nobody truly knows, but either way, after this pullback is over, it's up aggressively from here.
But if we zoom out, what's exciting to me is over the longer arc of time, we're seeing growth and maturity in Web3. And I think a lot of that, and what's really exciting about this latest cycle to me, is real institutional adoption. If you think about it, some of the biggest brands in financial services like Goldman and BlackRock and Fidelity, they actually built their products and offerings in bear markets, meaning they see the bigger picture at hand. So I think that's what's going to be really different about this year, is the institutional embrace and takeoff.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, to cap off this video for today, I have to say that if you had any question of what to hold for 2024 in the coming apocalypse that we're all going to experience, it's XRP. Look at where the billionaires and the multi-trillion-dollar institutions are parking their money and investing in. Ripple CEO claimed 5 trillion as a market cap he thinks is possible this year. I trust Brad Garlinghouse over some anons on Twitter talking shit about XRP. I think XRP can reach $1 trillion market cap. I think Bitcoin can hit higher levels as well. I believe an XRP ETF will come down the road. A Ripple IPO is inevitable down the road. And XRP new all-time highs is written into the future. I do believe in XRP and its future value. And I can't stress this enough, because we, like predicted, are going into unprecedented volatile times. Iran attacks Israel, oil spikes, Israel counters, oil and yen spikes, the Bank of Japan panics to save the yen, treasuries initially sell off hard then reverse, the reverse carry trade, global margin call, stocks crash, the moment is here. Guys, let's see what happens next. But we are accurately predicting in real time what's happening in the global stage. Brace for impact. Generational wealth awaits you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to leave you with the common individual, the common man in 2024, talking about the effects of the current economy. And you tell me we aren't right on the money in terms of understanding what's happening. As always, guys, I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'll be back tomorrow with another video.
So is anybody else just waiting for the economy to crash? Like, this shit just seems so surreal and I am sick of it. And since the pandemic, everything has just felt fake. Everything is maxed out. Look at the price of groceries when you go to the store. I mean, shit, if I knew it were going to be this bad, I would have started saving in nursery. We can't go out and protest because our voices are ignored. So many people complain about the cost of groceries and just the cost of basic necessities. But nobody seems to realise why it is the way it is. It's like there's a war on the middle class. And I love the fact that everybody's boycotting Kellogg's, but have you seen the price that they've reduced the cereal to? I seen a video and it were like 99 cents. So if they've reduced it to 99 cents due to a boycott, then why is the original prices before the reduced price like $6.99 a box? And I'll tell you why. Because it's an orchestrated cost of living crisis. They want to eliminate the middle class, and this is exactly what is unfolding.